Good evening and welcome to the Drive at 5 on IntellectualRadio.com/iHeartRadio station. I'm your host, Roman, and we have a good show planned for you today. But first, the forecast from our IntellectualRadio.com Weather Center. Today, mostly sunny and pleasant, high 76 degrees. Tonight, mainly clear, low 63 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 85 degrees. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy and humid, low 72 degrees. The rest of the week forecast looks like this. Wednesday, clouds and sun with a chance of thunderstorms, high 85 degrees. Thursday, strong morning thunderstorms, mainly humid. Storms in the afternoon, maybe strong downpours and damaging winds. Keep your eye to the sky on Wednesday and Thursday for those thunderstorms, high 88 degrees. And on Friday, look out again. Watch for strong thunderstorms, cloudy and humid, high 83 degrees. And thunderstorms going to mess up your weekend too, so be on the lookout for that. And I'm sorry about that, Miss Jazzy in July. The Drive at 5 is part of the Monday Night Mogul with One Sister to Another with your girl Angela Johnson at 4 p.m. Straight Note Chaser with your girl Real Ray Harris at 6 p.m. New Black Leadership at 7 p.m. And Chronicles of Ram at 8 p.m. There's this show that's so dope, they even named it Dope Show, and that's at 9 p.m. The Drive at 5 is also part of the fabulous 5 at 5, only on IntellectualRadio.com. Today, my guest will get you moving and grooving, as you hear from that CD over there, in jazz, with a preview of Jazzing in July. Please give a Drive at 5 welcome. To my left, Yvonne Spears, who's the head honcho. Also, life and business strategist that can get your life straight if you have curves in it. E.R. Spalding. And we have the chef and man, I smelled the aroma, Barbara Thompson. And guess what? Lo and behold, a saxophonist who plays his sax like he's about to pop a vein in his head. Sax preacher. Put them all together, you have what?
Jazzing in July.
God, that was so weak. Let's try this again. Put them all together, you have?
Jazzing in July.
All right, that's much better. So I start with you. Please give IntellectualRadio.com/iHeartRadio station your background and then pan over to you guys.
Well, my name is Yvonne Spear. We started the Multicultural Community Project back in 2011. We wanted to find a way, business owner to business owner, to give back to the community while we were also engaging and networking and collaborating together. So this was started back in 2011 with two of my business associates, Robert Rentiera and Travis Percy. And we grew from that point on to doing different things, not just networking and talking about what we do, but doing what we do. And we found a way to also, when we started Jazzing in July, to help fund other non-for-profits, as well as increase their social media reach and their reach out in the community by doing this event, Jazzing in July. So we have a great party with a purpose that's networking, business building, and paying tribute to those in our community that have worked in business before us.
Okay, Ms. Spalding.
Yes, I'm E.R. Spalding, integration strategist, and I am here in complete support of Jazzing in July because it is one of those things that as an entrepreneur you look for. You are constantly in competition with other individuals. So when you have a chance to actually collaborate and give back to the community that actually raised you up, it's always a wonderful thing. And so I became a sponsor of Jazzing in July this year because for everything that it stands for, partying with a purpose. So if you're going to be out there partying, you might as well, have a great purpose behind it. And that purpose is actually with the AXO program founded by the NAACP, which supports youth in their development through STEM research, humanities, the arts, in addition to business, which every entrepreneur, you're looking for someone to mentor so that we can have succession plans inside of our community. So I'm here and in full support of this and just grateful to be a part.
Yeah. And the program was founded by the late news reporter Vernon Jarrett.
Yeah.
Started in Chicago and has gone nationwide.
Okay.
Hi, and I'm Barbara Thompson, proprietor of G&B Enterprises, where we clean, cook, and consult. And I hooked up with Yvonne about 3 years ago, and I was selling tickets and doing everything because I see how hard she works, and she's a woman of her word. So I don't find too many women in the business that keep their word. So I was excited about that, and she works as hard as I do. So I came aboard, and now I'm the vice president.
Yes.
Impressive. Go ahead.
I am Brother Minister Raheem Kased Aten, founder of the Temple of Mercy Association, also known as the Sax Preacher. I'm most grateful to be on this show. Grateful to Yvonne and the host, as well as the producer. They would have me on this great segment of this show.
Did Earl pay you to say that?
No,
Could
not
it
really.
maybe be
That's
true?
that's basically how I feel. I speak how I feel. I've been playing for 40 years. I've traveled throughout the United States, throughout Canada, throughout Europe. I have 3 CDs out, 2 DVDs. I'm also the publisher of a newspaper called Wake Up News. It's news for the conscious mind, community-based newspaper since 2008. Been a community activist for over 25 years, since 1990, under my organization, the Temple of Mercy Association, which is an all-inclusive Black conscious yet righteous movement dedicated to the upliftment of Black people in urban America. And I guess I'll stop there.
Good. I'm glad you did, for time's sake. What inspired you to create Jazzing in July?
Well, one thing, I love music. I've always loved music, and I'll take it back. I'm the youngest of 6 children, so I heard all the music my brothers and sisters played growing up. I was forced to listen to their music because they didn't want to listen to my kiddie music. But I developed a love of music from the Motown sound, my oldest sister, to Parliament Funkadelic with my brothers and everything. So I love music. So mixing music with business and bringing different types of businesses together. When we talk about restaurants, chefs, jazz musicians, and entrepreneurs and non-for-profits, it's a natural fit. But we don't all collaborate in our community and come together. And this is a chance for us to come together for a great cause and have some great music and fun too.
Yeah. Miss Spalding, I swear on my, if I didn't talk to you beforehand, I would have called you Spalding. Because it was like, who's I mean, what made you say, as a sponsor of Jazzing in July, I'm all in? What made you say that?
Absolutely. I'm an integration strategist. So everything that I do is about integrating the best parts of me.
Define integration for our audience.
So integration is the coming together. So, and creating a holistic view. And a lot of times we move throughout life and we have such segmented portions of our lives. So as Yvonne was stating, I love music, right? Well, one would think then you have to become a musician if you love music in order to follow your passion. If I am a person who loves business, then one would say, here's the direction that you would go in. But now how do we begin to blend all of the things that we love together in one place so that you're not running around like a chicken with your head cut off, right?
Yes.
And so that is the essence of integration, bringing everything together. So one, you are a whole individual and the organizations and the things that you do are whole. My love of music started when I was a youngster. At 6 years old, my parents came and they told all of my siblings, you all must play a musical instrument. Okay, so I was opposed to that. So I chose what I thought was going to be the worst instrument to have, which was a trombone. So actually at 7, I have a trombone and it's taller than I am. Couldn't even reach 9th position. My teacher had to take a string and put it on my middle index finger in order for me to reach the last position. But as a result of that, I grew up with music in my family and my bones, and I absolutely love it. But someone said, when you grow up, you can't enjoy the things that you do. And I absolutely oppose that. So I bring music and dance and arts and all of the things that I love, integrating them all together. So that's why I jumped on board, because this is just another continuation and extension of what it is that I do. We're giving back to the communities that we grew up in. We're collaborating with other business owners, creating partnerships that will continue throughout our entrepreneurial endeavors. And we're also having fun, and making good music and dancing and camaraderie, which is everything that you need inside of your life, building these sustainable communities. And that's what Jazzing in July does.
Absolutely.
I know you made her feel all tingly. Barbara, what made you say I'm all in?
First of all, I love to feed people. I've been feeding people for over 40 years.
I can smell those beans from over here.
And I love to cook. I was in the Motorola industry for 25 years, and a job is just over broke. You live in paycheck to paycheck. And I always like to feed people, because even if a person is mean, if you bring some food to the table, they'll smile. So I learned that at an early age. I guess they could call it a conning position, but I learned how to feed people spiritually and physically. I pray for people, and Yvonne had a giving spirit. So I just like to give. So I'm on 47th Street. She on 47th Street. She was in Inglewood. I had a restaurant on 63rd and Halsted called Praise Chicago. So we just hooked up, and we've been jamming ever since. I know one thing is that since I met her, I've been making money. Instead of giving away more than I make now, I make a little bit more. So I'm grateful for that.
Yes.
That's why you said you're all in, because you're making money. Just keep it real.
Nothing else but making money.
Because you're making money. That's the whole point.
But happy making money. That
happy, making nothing but being happy at the same time.
Absolutely.
Sax Preacher.
Yes, sir.
What made you say I'm all in to this event?
Well,
don't tell me you've fallen asleep on this already. No? Oh, okay.
I didn't know what question you was going to ask. But well, first I met Yvonne like through a board member of my other organization, the United Black American Progress Association, and we had her as our guest speaker. And she did so well speaking on the tremendous need for why we need to come together and work together, buy black, circulate our dollars among ourselves, and not only just talked about it. From what I'm hearing, she's an example of it, as well as helping others be that example. And so when I met her, I guess she didn't know I played music at the time. She thought I was just president of that organization. But when she found out that I played music, she said, I got to have you on my program, on my show. So I said, okay, well, let's do this, So she called me, and was a mix up in the schedule last year. She said, but I know I got to get you next year.
Yeah.
And that was this year. And so as they all said, I'm all in also. I mean, I like the work that she does, and I want to support her in that work. And so one of the ways is through my music, and many other ways that I know I can be of help in the future.
What separates Jazzing in July from other jazz events that are out there now?
Well, there's a lot of jazz at the shed. You're going to see a performance, okay? And it's great, and you see by Allstate or something like that. But it does not lend the opportunity for business owners and community to actually sponsor. This isn't sponsored by a big name company. It's sponsored by a lot of the small companies that look like us. So the concept is that is paid for by us in our businesses to support our businesses, and we're sending our children to a national championship that look like us. So it really comes together. Even though we're in different industries, food, music, entertainment, non-for-profit, we're all in business. But we're coming together for a common cause to make some things happen in our community, and we're not waiting or begging for a handout like somebody owes us something. We can take care of ourselves.
So what made you to make it a point to support just Black-owned business. I don't want.
Yeah.
I just want Black-owned to.
We're multicultural, and a lot of people say, "Well, you're multicultural, is Black, blah blah blah." Well, I'm African American. Jewish people don't apologize for being Jewish and having their Jewish events, or Irish have the Irish parade, everything else, but we don't have those celebrations. And I get tired of the fact that if it's African Americans coming together, it seems like, oh, it's going to be militant. No, it's not. It's business. People have that perception. Militants, power to the people, blah, blah, blah. It's not about that. It is about business, supporting business, and doing business together. So we're no longer the competition. We're collaboration. And that's what we need to see. And it stops that crabs in a barrel syndrome, because I know we have a personal relationship, not you're just a guy down the street. I know you by face. I could pick up the phone and call you, and we can do business together. It takes all of that out of there. The other thing, multicultural, there are multicultural, even within our African American community, there's so many different cultures, and culture isn't necessarily about race. It's about religion. It's about where you come from. It's about social class. It's about all of those things, and integrating and coming together.
So how you feel about that, Miss Sponsor? I mean, Miss Spalding, I'm sorry.
Well, it was correct on both fronts, right?
I'm sorry. It wasn't being mean. It was just the way it popped out. So it's not like how you feel about that, Miss Sponsor.
Right. Absolutely. The bottom line is, when you control your economy, you can control your destiny and the direction that you're going in. And when individuals who are local, that have their hand, their spirit on the pulse of what's happening, then we get to say and get to choose how we're going to distribute our energy. If someone else were coming inside, right, and we've all been in grade school or different places where individuals from outside of the community, even when they look like us, come in and provide programming, generally they do not have the same type of purview that we do. And so they are providing to us what they think they should have.
Right.
Someone is coming in and saying, take all of the guns off the street. But you haven't lived in Chicago. I don't know how many phone calls I get from individuals. Oh, I'm coming to Chicago. Do I need to get my SWAT? And it's like, I walk up and down the south side of Chicago every day, all day, me and my pooch, my dog, and we're not dodging bullets, right? So the individuals that live inside of the community, when we have an opportunity to come together, then we direct how our resources are utilized, where our energy is going to be expended, and we know what is going to actually make a difference in terms of change. So as business leaders, as a sponsor, as an entrepreneur myself, I get to lock arms with other individuals who can look at me and say, I get it, I understand, and I'm here ready and willing to do the work with you. Now let's roll up our sleeves and get it done.
Absolutely.
So, Ms. Barber, you feel like your sleeves is rolled up as a vendor?
Yes, it's rolled up, and you always need a safety net, a harness. And when you have other people with the same goals and skills and working toward the same future that you want to go, it feels easy. I could pick up the phone in the middle of the night and say, Yvonne, how can I do this? Or I could pick up, hey, Miss Spalding, you experiencing this. Can you help me with that? It's really a good networking, because it takes a whole village to even run an organization. That's why when you're a president, you have the state representative, the legislature. We as Black entrepreneurs, we take it on ourselves to do everything. And that's how people get overwhelmed, because they don't have no safety nets, no people to stand in for it. And that's what Yvonne Spears is. She comes in, y'all say, Yvonne, I need to go to this store. Take the car, go do this, she's there. And if other people would do that, the world would be so much better. So that's why I'm 100% in.
Yeah.
Miss Preacher. I mean, Miss Sax Preacher. I'm sorry.
Miss Preacher. I do have a Miss Preacher. She's right here.
Well, hello there.
Right here. She sleeps with me and everything. Anyway.
Uh-oh.
But look, what I wanted to say was this. the organization, the United Black American Progress Association, the founder of that organization was an elderly gentleman by the name of Dr. Webb Evans. He made his transition 2 years ago, and he's affectionately known as Mr. Buy Black. You all probably have seen him at Operation Push and all over the place with the kufi, black and white kufi on his head. And I know he would be proud today just to hear what you young women were saying here today about buying black and circulating the black dollar. He always says that we're not just on the economic bottom, but we're on the bottom. And the main thing about that is that we don't have other ethnic groups making their way to our neighborhoods to buy black. But we make our way to their neighborhoods and strip malls to buy from them. And this is why black businesses, they're more going out of business than going into business, because we don't support our own. And so we are guilty of giving other ethnic groups two incomes, theirs and ours. And if we could just circulate our dollars among ourselves a little bit, we can keep us in business and then help others. In other words, we got to start with us first, just like they start with themselves first. When they come into our neighborhoods, they leave out with our money, and they don't come back bringing anything, but they leave back again taking something out in order to build for their people, their children, and their futures. And so that's why I love what I heard them say. And when Dr. Evans turned his organization over to me, he was 101 years old. And ever since then, I've been going out promoting buying black and circulating the black dollar. And I would love to have as a guest speaker at one of our fourth Monday business networking meetings.
You notice he pointed at you guys, not me. He just pointed at you guys, not
I want
me.
you on there too.
Yeah, right.
I'd love you to host it one day.
Go ahead.
And if I might say, what the preacher was talking about was not something that it wasn't happenstance, right? Our dollars are not leaving outside of our community just because they have nowhere to go.
Right.
That was something that was actually programmed into us in order to do. So as we move from being a commodity, right, from the slave trade, then when we began to create our own communities and our dollars, and we began to get economic strength, there was a systemic plot to come in and to program us to do something different. And so consumerism in terms of our dollars began to leave. So what Jazzing in July actually does is it creates another type of programming, right? So just like this intellectual radio, this is a program. Television is programming that individuals do. And what are you programming? Right? The listening ear or the watchful eye. So Jazzing in July is setting another precedent that says that entrepreneurs can come together, that there is a new level of Black CEO that is stepping inside of the space, and we are conscientious about what it is that we do and how we do it. And we understand that we are only going to change the trajectory of our communities, of our neighborhoods, of the children that are inside of our communities if we take a stand with one another and come up with a plan to change the programming so that our consumer dollars can stay inside of our communities, so that we can rebuild what was there, rebuild our families through business-based wealth.
Absolutely. And one of the things I preach is our classism within our African American community. Don't go over there. We don't go to Inglewood. We don't go to Chatham. We don't go to the West Side. Oh, no, it's those people. So when we bring businesses together, just like they used to say 47 the low end, oh, don't go over there. And I grew up in Inglewood. I've returned there since my mom passed to take care of my dad. And the thing about it, it was not the same community I loved growing up. And people don't know, actually, Inglewood, Woodlawn, and on the west side, in the Austin area, was the first homes that African Americans were allowed to buy prior to the Civil Rights Movement, because they could redline at the time and not sell their homes. So those are the first communities that opened up. So with the Great Migration, a lot of people settled in these communities. Now they were able to buy homes. So also there were a lot of businesses and business owners that look like us in that Inglewood community. People would know that shoe shop, that candy store, that record store, all of those things. And now we're coming back to those things again, because corporate America, we were all told to, get our degree, get a great job, and you'll be set for life. That doesn't happen anymore. My dad and my mom, they retired from the city of Chicago. But you can't count on those 40-year jobs anymore. Now, the line is, we're going in another direction, and that doesn't include you. So what do? You have to change your path. And a lot of people parlayed their skills during the economic crisis to start their own businesses, because the opportunities weren't there anymore. So you have to create your own destiny.
And when we come back, we have the one and only Sax Preacher going to perform for us live when we come back on a Drive at 5, sponsored by Jazzin' in July. You suppose that every time?
Yes.
Jazzin'
in July.
Thank you. We'll be back right after this. Sponsored by
Jazzin' in July.
All right, after this.
July 29th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Renaissance Bronzeville, 4641 South King Drive in Chicago, Illinois. That night will feature smooth jazz and performances by Opal Staples. Also performing Sax Preacher. It's Jazzin' in July, brought to you by the Multicultural Community Project. It's an event you don't want to miss. Saturday, July 29th at the Renaissance Bronzeville, 4641 South King Drive in Chicago, Illinois. For more information, please call 773-733-9274. That's 773-733-9274. It's an event you don't want to miss. Tickets are available now, and VIP seating is also available. So go to eventbrite.com and search for Jazzin' in July for more information and to secure your tickets. Secure your tickets today. It's an event you don't want to miss.
5 on IntellectualRadio.com. We have to my left
Yvonne Spear,
E.R. Spalding, Barbara Thompson,
and who's about to perform is Sax Preacher himself, Sax Preacher. Take it away.
This is a song that's dedicated to my mentor that I looked up to in playing saxophone. That's the late, great Grover Washington Jr. A song called Wine Life.
I thought it was dedicated to me, but go ahead. All right. Woo! We'll be back with more with Sax Preacher and Jasmine in July. Well, there's only one person. You can say it one more time. With Jasmine in July. We'll be back after this.
The Multicultural Community Project presents Jazzin' in July, Saturday, July 29th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Renaissance Bronzeville, 4641 South King Drive in Chicago, Illinois. That night will feature smooth jazz and performances by Opal Staples. Also performing, Sax Preacher. It's Jazzin' in July, brought to you by the Multicultural Community Project. It's an event you don't want to miss, Saturday, July 29th at the Renaissance Bronzeville, 4641 South King Drive in Chicago, Illinois. For more information, please call 773-733-9274. That's 773-733-9274. It's an event you don't want to miss. Tickets are available now, and VIP seating is also available. So go to eventbrite.com and search for Jazzin' in July for more information and to secure your tickets. Secure your tickets today. It's an event you don't want to miss.
And we're back on the Drive at 5 on IntellectualRadio.com/iHeartRadio station. And we have to my left,
Yvonne Spear,
E.R. Spalding,
Barbara Thompson.
Yours truly, the Sax Preacher.
all together, you are
Jazzin' in July.
There we go. There is our sponsor for tonight's Drive at 5. Now, my question to you, Sax Preacher, why they call you Sax Preacher? Is it because you preach on a sax? Why?
You close.
Why?
They say I sound as if I'm preaching a sermon on the saxophone as opposed to just playing just music. And see, my inspiration was not just being a musician. When my mother passed when I was 11, I was in high school and I saw someone playing the horn and I saw how the people responded to it. And so I got in the band and learned how to play the saxophone. And from that point in time, I was able to express my true emotions and feelings from missing my mom since I was 12. And so it comes out through my heart.
Oh, cool. That's wonderful. Now we have some food here from Barbara Thompson. Mm-hmm. She's the chef. So why is cooking your passion here?
Yes, it's a form of therapy for me. I just recently had a friend pass away this weekend, and I just started cooking yesterday. I must have made macaroni and cheese.
Oh, man, you should have brought that beans.
Here. I made ribs, hot links, greens, cornbread, and peach cobbler flew out the window for real. But, I love to cook, and I like to see the kids in the neighborhood come by my house. Miss Barbara, what you have for me today? I said, let me see that homework. I give them homework to do. I try to be a motivational to kids because our kids are lost in society and nobody loves them. And I want to let them know that I love them and everybody should love them, because back in the old days, we barter. We like, say for instance, if you knew how to cook, I would do the cooking, you would do the sewing, you would babysit. It was like a network. So I'm trying to get my community to network and try to show the kids, oh, don't wear your pants down like that. Don't let them stereotype you. I tell the young girls, don't come outside with your pajamas. You've been sleeping in the bed. Now you getting up. Then you gonna go get back in the bed with your pajamas on. That's not good. So you try to be a motivation. So, and I'm trying to teach the kids how to cook and stop staying in McDonald's.
Yes. All right. You brought some food for us. That's my favorite food. Go ahead.
I made grilled chicken and great northern
beans. Put that
beans.
up so people can see.
And it's no no kind of meat in there because I have a lot of vegetarian people.
Mhm.
So I just use good stock. I take a vegetable stock and I use vegetables and celery and stuff to season my food. You know.
And you also brought some beans.
Them great northern beans.
Okay, what's the difference between Great Northern and regular beans?
Well, Great Northern is white, and so I cook them
So you
down.
don't bring some white beans to a
No,
black
but
steak?
you look, but
I'm
you
just,
look-
I'm
but
joking.
if you
I'm
look-
joking.
If
I'm
you
joking.
look at the beans, I cook them so long till they turn black.
Okay.
If you look at them, they don't look like white beans, do they?
No, they don't.
Okay, then I cook them a long time so you can easily digest and all that, get your protein, because by people being vegetarian, they still need their proteins.
I know.
Now, I'm just going to throw this out there. Please be brief because I want Sax Preacher to take us out of here. There's this old version of jazz and a new version of jazz. They have the scat version, Scooby-Doo, wop, wop, wop. And then they have the new version of jazz. Are you integrating the two with your Jazzin' in July? What?
I like a little bit of both. My dad was the big fan of the Count Basie's and everything, so we heard a lot of that music.
Mhm.
But as I've grown up, we started hearing people like Kenny G and just different types of jazz. And so it opened up a different world. And these things are to be explored. There's a lot of great artists out here, and we love to watch them. Barbara's my friend. We call ourselves concert heads. We go and see music and just kick back and enjoy ourselves. So why not bring the two?
Okay. Now, on down, tell them where IntellectualRadio.com can get information from Jazzin' in July,
Okay.
and on down where they can get your information, starting with you.
Okay, Jazzin' in July. We have 2 tickets, our VIP and our general admission. VIP is $55. General admission is $25. Our performers are Sax Preacher and Opal Staples. And you can get it. Oh, by the way, it is July 29th from 4 to 8 at the Renaissance in Bronzeville. You can contact me directly at 773-733-9274. Or you can contact our Vice President, Barbara Thompson, at
773-936-8234. And we also have a guitarist named Gino, and we have 2 prophetess as well doing inspirational singing as well.
All right, Miss Spalding.
Yes, so E.R. Spalding, the best way to reach me is through my Facebook community, the Evolving Leader Society, because that's where I am and offering individual support. You can also get me at info@erspalding.com. That's ERSPAULDING, or 404-594-3393.
And Sax Preacher, which you're going to play us out of here, where they can get in contact with your music. Might as well stand up and
Basically, just Google Sax Preacher, and you'll get everything from Facebook to Instagram to you name it, Snapchat. I'm all over the place. All right.
All over the place. I want to thank Earl Winfrey, our executive producer, Wanda, who is behind the scenes. Thanks as always. Real Ray Harris. Thanks always. And she's up next with Straight No Chaser. She has this health fitness person that's coming up, and I know she's going to be ashamed of all this chicken that I'm about to eat. But thanks, Jazzin' in July. Go see them. But just going to play us out is Sax Preacher. Have a great week, everyone.
Tribute to the late, great Maurice White. Earth, Wind, and fire.